Hi team, welcome to Pikama Stitches. Let me show you guys how to make this beautiful dress. Now these are the two Ankara pieces I'm going to be combining to make this, so let's get right into class. So I have my lining folded into two. The length of this is by 60. Now the lining is going to be shorter than the main fabric, so 60 is fine. Okay, then the width of this your fold is going to be your shoulder width divided by 2 plus minimum 2 inches. Now these are zipper area. This is going to be the center of our front piece. Okay, so we'll go ahead now to take our markings. At the top here I'm going to be marking 1 inch, which will serve as our shoulder line, and that's where all our markings will be starting from. Remember, we're cutting the center of the 6 pieces dress with cone. What you need is your shoulder width divided by 2 plus 2 inches. Okay, subtracting your 2 inches for zipper allowance. The one at the back is longer because of the zipper allowance. So from this folded part, I'm marking my shoulder width divided by 2. Can you see what I have? That's 8 inches. And then my neck width, I'm going to be marking 3.75. And after that, I'm going to be creating my shoulder slope. At that shoulder part, I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch, just the way you see me do. Remember, we're marking for both the front and the back. That's why we're taking 1 inch here. I'm going to go ahead and slant my shoulder to the 3.75 neck width, just the way you see me do. Now after doing this, we're going to be taking our body measurement. Now from my shoulder, I'm going to be marking to my bust point, which is 11.5 inches for me. Go ahead and mark yours. I'm going to be marking this twice in order to get a straight line. After getting that line, you're going to be marking your shoulder to your under bust. Okay, and you're going to be marking that. For me, I have 15 inches, and then I'm going to be marking my shoulder to waist point. Those are the measurements you need for this 6 pieces dress with cone effect, and I'll connect them into a straight line. Note, you do not need your hip measurement. Okay, so after connecting my lines into a straight line, we're going to be creating our armhole slope. Okay, our armhole, sorry. So from your slanted line, go ahead and mark your round bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, okay, to get your armhole measurement. Now after getting that measurement for myself, I'm going ahead to extend these lines. Please, you must extend this line, because when we're creating the side of our princess, that we need these lines. Okay, so I'm extending this line. I'll go ahead to label it. Sorry about the way I'm labeling it. This is my chest line, my bust point, my under bust, and my waist line. Now from this folded part, I'm going to be marking the same thing I marked at my shoulder width at my chest point, okay, which was 8 inches. I'll connect it into a straight line in order for us to create our armhole depth. So after creating that line, can you see what we have? From the chest line, you're going to go up by 3 inches, just the way you see me do, and you're going to leave that for now. Now still from this folded part, I'm going to be marking my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus half of an inch. Remember, we're cutting directly on fabric, so you need to add that half inch so you do not have shortage. So whatever you have, mark it straight down from your bust point all the way to your waistline and connect it into a straight line, just the way you see me do. Can you see what we have? Now after doing that, to create our darts, okay, now for this style we do not need so much darts. Okay, so from the bust point, I'm coming down by 1 inch because we don't want our darts to go all the way. From the waist point also, I'm going upwards by 1 inch, just the way you see me do. Now at the under bust area, I'm going to be taking 1 inch dart on both sides. Okay, this works for all body sizes. Now you go ahead and connect. Now for a plus size, you can decide to do 1.5 on both sides, but 1 inch is also fine. Okay, now go ahead and connect all these points just the way you see me do, and we've gone ahead to create our dart. Now after doing this, go ahead and curve those points. We don't want them to be pointy. Okay, now connect from that nipple to nipple point in a curved manner to the 3 inches you came up from your chest line by just the way you see me do. Now while making this dress, I didn't remember to take a half an inch from my armhole like we used to contour it. Okay, so please go ahead and do that. Now to create the center piece of this our 6 pieces, from this your nipple to nipple leg at the waist area, just slant it out the way you see me do. Now remember, this center piece is your shoulder width divided by 2 plus 2 inches. So now when you open this up, this is going to give us like 18 or 20 inches. Okay, I hope I'm correct. But if you don't want yours to be this wide, I advise you don't make it this wide. You can measure 7 inches at the leg part and connect it. I hope this is okay, because we don't want this center piece to be too wide. Okay, but if you have enough fabric, you can do more. Now to create our neck depth for the front, I'm going to be marking 3 inches. Remember, we're going to be adding a collar to it. Okay, so go ahead and mark 3 inches. I don't want it to be too high or too low. And then for the back depth, I'm working with 1 inch. So I'm going ahead to mark the 3 inches as well, because I want to get a nice curve. For a slimmer person, you can do 2.5, but for a plus size, 3 inches is fine. We're going to be adding a round collar to this all the way to the back. Now while cutting this, I made a mistake. For the back, I should have gone deeper. The back is a V-neck line, so you can do yours now, but I later corrected it. Okay, the back neck depth is a V-neck line and is deeper than this, so I later corrected that. Okay, I hope that's clear. So I'll go ahead to connect the necklines just the way you see me do. Now don't forget to add 1/2 inch at the shoulder area for our joining allowance. That's to join the front shoulders to the back shoulders. I've done it and I'm going to connect this into a straight line. Now while this is going on, I want to take this time to say a huge thank you. I'm so grateful. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm more than grateful. The amount of love, support I've seen in less than 1 year of starting this channel. We have over 148 subscribers. I'm really grateful, and I say may God bless each and every one of you and prosper the works of your hands. The way you've supported me, you will also not lack support. I'm really grateful, and I'm saying thank you both to my old subscribers that started with me right from the beginning, and to the new ones that are just joining us. Please, I want you to know that you're so much appreciated and you're welcomed. If you have any tutorial, any style that's stressing you out, you want us to work on it together, please just drop a message in the comment section, and then I'm going to drop a number which you can send the style to me. In any way you want us to be of support to each other, just let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much. You're welcome to the family. I really love you guys, and I appreciate your support. Thank you and thank you. Welcome to Pikama Stitches family. Thank you so much, guys. So just go ahead and cut it out. Can you see what we have? So if you have any pointy parts, that's what I said earlier, just go ahead and trim it a little bit more. Please, sorry guys for the noise, is the music on the background. Okay, so after doing all of that, we're not going to be cutting the neckline for now. We'll go ahead and contour the waist of the back in order to avoid zipper bulge. So I have 1.5 inches here. I'm going to be taking out 1/2 inch from my waistline, and then I'm going to be connecting it in a slanted manner back to the shoulder, and then back to the neck depth of the back, and then I'll connect it downwards, and then we cut it out. Now the aim of this is just to avoid zipper bulging. Okay, so go ahead and connect it just the way you see me do, and we are done with both the center front of our 6 pieces and the center back of our 6 pieces dress. Now remember, this dress is going to be having a cone effect in between, so I'd advise for the center front and the center back, the width at the down part shouldn't be more than 7 inches. Okay, while widening the leg, it shouldn't be more than 7 inches, so that when you add the cone, it won't be too wide. Okay, It depends on what you want, but I'm advising, okay, it shouldn't be more than 7 inches so your work can come out beautiful and outstanding. So after slanting the back waist, we'll go ahead and cut it out, and after cutting it out, I'm going to fold my fabric into 4 in order for us to cut the side pieces of both the front and the back pieces. So this is what I have. Now I have my fabric folded into 4. Okay, you may fold it or not, it's not relevant. Okay, so this is 4 pieces of fabric. I'm going to be placing this right on it. Can you see the way I'm placing it? Now place this in such a way that your shoulder seam is matching. You need to get your shoulder, and then also place it in such a way that you have enough allowance at the lower part, because we're going to be extending the lower parts as well. We need that flayed 6 pieces effect at the lower part. Can you see what I mean? Okay, can you see I have some extension here, nothing short of 7 inches. Can you see the overlapping effect here? So sorry guys about the noise, but ensure this shoulder part matches. Don't bother about the bust area. We'll have enough allowance to cut it out the way we're supposed to. So at this point, we're going to go ahead now to extend our lines. The lines we had in front, we're going ahead to extend them at the back because of the contouring, the adjustments we're going to be making. I hope this is clear. Just fold a fabric that's wide enough to give you your round bust divided by 4, and then you add minimum 7 inches to that. That's what I mean for these other 4 pieces. So after extending the lines, we're going to extend the armhole line. Remember, we didn't create our armhole curve. I'm showing us a very simple method to cut out your 6 pieces as well. Okay, so extend it. Now we're going to create our armhole curve. Now after doing this, from this folded front part, that is where all our measurement is going to be starting from. Okay, from this part. So you're going to be measuring your bust circumference divided by 4. Can you see what I have? And you mark it there, and then you add your sewing allowance. I added 2.5 inch sewing allowance. Like I always say, it's always best to have excess than to have shortage. Okay, so I added 2.5 because we're cutting directly on fabric, and whatever I have, I'm extending it all the way to my bust point. And at this point, I'm going ahead now to create my armhole curve just the way you see me do. Can you see what we have? Now at the under bust area, you're going to be marking your under bust measurements divided by 4, still from the front folded part. Okay, divided by 4, and I'm adding the same 2.5 inch sewing allowance to this. Can you see what we have? At the waist area, I'm going to be marking my waist circumference divided by 4 plus 2.5 inch sewing allowance. Remember, for this style we do not need the hip measurement because the 6 pieces, the flare we're creating, will definitely cover up for your hip area. Can you see what we have? Now go ahead and carve out your armhole neatly. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to be tracing these lines that you had in front. You're going to be tracing it on the sides. Now can you see what we have here? From this side, you're going to flay it out. At the hem part, measure 7 inches as well, and connect from your waist to that 7 inches at the lower part. That's the width of the fabric at the lower part, should be 7 inches. Now the side piece is going to be a bit bigger because we're going to be slanting it on both sides. Okay, so can you see the way I'm curving this? Now mine did not come out neat. I later corrected it, so make sure you slant it. If you have enough fabric, you can make it wider. So just go ahead and connect this well. Just straighten out your hand and connect this properly. Okay, can you see what we have? So once you're done with that, we're going to be tracing this line just the way you see me do. We need that curved line, okay, because we're going to be cutting out this other inner part. So we need this line to be accurate and for it to align when we want to join them. So you need to trace what you have on the center piece to the side. Now you can decide to extend this out a little bit more and redraw your armhole in case you fear for shortage. But this pattern we're using to cut this out, okay, we'll ensure that you do not have any shortage. So I won't be working with that line, okay. So this is what we have. I've gone ahead to cut out the sides and I've cut out the shoulder. So I'm going to take out my center front and center back piece so that will show us what we have at this part and the alterations we're going to be making. So this is what you're going to have once you're done. Can you see? It looks funny in a way, but we're going to be correcting this. So this is the line that we just traced out, okay. So what you're going to be doing next right now is you're going to be cutting this out, okay. Follow your traced line and cut this to get your side princess dart. Now when you attach this to the side of the front, the center part, it will align, okay. Go ahead and use your pins to hold this. Remember, we have 4 pieces of the sides now, and then the back, center back is also in too because of the zipper allowance. Now from your waist area, you also slant it out. You won't follow this line. If you follow this line we drew, it will look funny, okay. So go ahead and slant this out. I really hope this is clear, but just follow the steps, you'll get it, and yours will also come out perfectly. So can you see what we have here? At the waist area, you flay it out as well, but it shouldn't be too wide. Can you see what I have here for my sides? So this is what we have. We're going to keep separate 2 pieces, which is for the front from the side, and take out the center front piece because we need to make some corrections. Can you see everything matches up? With this method, one won't be longer than the other. Can you see what we have? And then the lower part will flay out, and we'll still add a cone to this. That's why I said don't cut it to be too wide, okay. No, it will be too bogus in front. Now we're going to take out the center front and 2 pieces for the front piece, okay. Now this part we're going to be making some alterations to that. Go ahead and cut your neckline. I'm cutting out my front neckline, neck depth at this point, okay. And then we'll go ahead and make alterations on the back piece. So now this is my back piece, this is my waistline. Now we have the back center piece, 2 pieces, the side pieces as well, 2 pieces. We've taken out the front piece, okay. Now remember, the back piece doesn't have an under bust, okay. So, and it's not going to have a bust that will say it's going to protrude. So we're going to be cutting out a little from it because the back that needs to be straight. I hope this is clear. So I'm just cutting out a little from the back piece because the back piece doesn't have a bust nor an under bust. I hope this is clear. So we don't need the back to have that curved effect like the front piece. So take out just a little bit of inch from the back pieces at this bust and under bust and waist area, just the way you see me do, okay. So after doing that, your back pieces are ready, and then the exact thing we have here, we're going to go ahead to cut it out on our Ankara piece. Now choose any of the Ankara you want to use as your main piece, and whatever you want to use for your cone. If you decide to combine it, if you want to use the same fabric, it's actually fine, it's up to you. So I'll go ahead now to cut out the exact same thing on my main piece. Now for the back as well, when you put it together, everything matches perfectly. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut this out on my main fabric. This is the one I want to use as the main piece. Now kindly note that the main fabric will be longer by 2 inches than the lining, okay. So that's what I have. I've done same for the front piece. So you're going to bring in both front and back piece, and you're going to join them together. Now while joining, your joining must stop right at the waistline. Do not sew beyond the waistline. I hope this is clear. Join from the armhole to the waist area. Can you see what we have? I've gone ahead to do same for both the lining and the main piece. Whatever you're doing on the main piece, repeat the same thing on the lining. Can you see what I have? right at the waistline, that's where we stopped our joining, because we're going to be attaching our cone effect from that waist area. Okay, just the exact thing you saw at the thumbnail at the beginning of the video. Can you see what we have? From the waist area, it is open. Sorry guys about the noise. Okay, so can you see for the front piece as well, the princess seam, and then this lower part from the waist area is open. Okay, can you see what we have? So this is where we're going to be attaching the cone. Ensure the lines are equal. Okay, so what you're going to do next is to open up from that waist area, open it up and measure what you have from your waist area, the exact point you stopped your stitch. Measure all the way to the hem of your dress to know the length of cone to attach to this. Okay, I have here 39 inches, I think. Okay, so at this other leg you're also going to measure it to ensure that you have the same thing. Okay, so I'm going ahead to measure, and this is what I have. I think I had 40 inches. So we're going to go ahead and cut out the cone. So now I'm going to be cutting this out on my lining. Remember, whatever we're cutting on the main piece is the same thing we're cutting for the lining. The lining and the main piece is the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to be folding this in a flay form. Okay, just watch the way I'm folding this. I'm folding this in a flay form so that it won't stand just straight. It will give you that flayed effect. Can you see what we have? And then ensure at the tip part will be very slim, and then it flays out just the way you see me do. I'm going to use my pin to hold this in place. Can you see what we have? Just use your pin to hold this in place. Please, if you've watched this tutorial up to this point and you've not given this video a like or a thumbs up, please kindly do that. Okay, because that's a way of supporting this channel. Also subscribe and share this video so other people can learn from it. Okay, so now from the top part here, I'm going to measure down the measurement we measured on our gown, and I'm going to be adding 2 inches to that. Okay, I'm adding 2 inches because ½ inch will be used to join back, and then it's better to have excess and trim off than to have shortage. Good. Now at the lower part, we also do not want our cone to be too wide. I measured 7 inches as well at this part. So when you open it out up, you have 14 inches. Okay, I hope I'm correct, but you can make yours 6 inches, depends on the number, the fabric you have to play around with. Okay, so after confirming the length and the width that I need, I'm going to go ahead to cut this out. Now we're going to be cutting out 4 of these for the lining. Remember, we have 2 opening in front and 2 opening at the back. Okay, so we're going to be cutting out 4 of this for the lining and 4 of this on the main piece. And the same way you're attaching this to the lining is the same way you're going to be attaching this to the main fabric. Okay, so make sure you have enough fabric because this style is really fabric consuming. So can you see what we have? Can you see the lower part? So when you open it up, can you see the whiteness that we have? Okay, so we'll go ahead and cut this out in 4 places. So can you see what I have? I have my lining. I didn't have enough lining. I had to look for other leftover lining to make up. Okay, and then this is the fabric I'm going to be using for my cone. For the main piece, I also have 4 of this. Okay, so I'm going to be showing us how to attach this. Okay, I'm going to use 1 for our illustration. So you're going to bring in your main piece. I'm going to be using the back piece for our illustration, and then you're going to be placing this cone effect right side of the fabric facing the right side of your main piece. Open this up and bring out your seam allowance. The ½ inch you joined your bust area with that ½ inch allowance. Okay, you're going to notch that part and bring out the seam allowance. Now you're going to be making your cone attachment to go 1 inch, okay, above the seam line at the waist area. so that this seam will lay flat. We need this part to be as neat, as seamless, and as penciled as possible. Sorry for the plenty grammar. So just go ahead and pin it at that waist area, but make sure the cone goes up by 1 inch. Okay, and then what you're going to do, when you get to your sewing machine, put your needle at that point at the center of the waist area and turn it this way, just the way you see me do. Put your needle in, turn it this way, and then you're going to stitch down with 1/2 of an inch all the way to the hem on one side. Can you see the way I'm placing this? Now once you get to the hem, you come back to the center. Your seam must start from this point, okay, and you stitch from the center back to the other leg. Now you're going to do same for all the pieces. Okay, I'll go ahead and stitch this, do the same thing to the lining, and then I'll bring this back to show us what we have. So after attaching this is our back pieces, sorry, these are our back piece, and this is so cute. Can you see? Please give this video a thumbs up if you're learning something new, which I know you are. So can you see how beautiful it is? It's penciled from the waist and then it flays out. Can you see what we have? And this is our front piece. We've done the same thing. So the next thing we're going to do is to join both shoulders with 1/2 of an inch. Okay, join the shoulders of the front and the lining with 1/2 of an inch. Now after joining it, we're going to be cutting out the collar that we need, okay, for the neck area. But before we do that, remember I said I was supposed to come down at the back neck depth. It's supposed to be deeper, so I'm going to be doing that correction now. Go ahead and mark out your zipper allowance. Okay, after taking out your 1 inch zipper allowance, you determine the depth of the neck depth that you want. So from my shoulder joining, I'll come down by 9 inches. I took out the 1 inch we took out earlier for the depth of the back neck, and then I'll connect it in a V shape back to my zipper allowance line. Okay, just go ahead and create a V neck at the back. Whatever depth you want to work with is fine, but connect it all the way to your zipper area. Can you see what I have? To your zipper area, just the way you see me do. And then we're going to go ahead to cut this out. Connect it all the way to your shoulder joining. Okay, can you see what I have? And then I'll go ahead to cut this out. Please give this video a thumbs up, give this video a like, and subscribe if you haven't, so that you'll be updated on new, interesting, and very easy, non-complicated tutorials. Okay, so go ahead and notch your zipper allowance area. Now from that part, we're going to be measuring round the neck. Remember, this fabric is on fold, so whatever you're measuring, you're going to be adding +2 to it, okay, since it's on fold. So measure from the center to where your zipper stops. Okay, sorry, subtracting your zipper allowance. Do not include your zipper allowance, because the collar will not get to your zipper. Okay, where you notched, that's where you're going to stop. So after measuring, you can go ahead and measure this twice to be sure that you're getting the accurate figure. Okay, now after measuring this, I had 17. So 17 plus 17 is what you're going to be marking on your fabric. But if you're opening yours up, you can measure it straight. Since mine is on fold, that's why I'm going to be doing that. Okay, so I have my fabric on fold. It's long enough, more than my sleeve. Remember, this collar is going to be having an extension, sorry, collar, so you add minimum 5 inches to whatever you're folding. Okay, so go ahead and fold the collar, and then the length I'm working with is 4 inches. 1/2 of an inch will be to join it to the neck, and the actual length of this collar is 3.5 inches. Okay, I hope this is clear. So after getting that figure, you're going to go ahead and mark the figure you had on your round neck. Remember, I had 17 inches. So from this folded area, I'm going to be marking that 17 inches here. Remember, this my fabric is already on fold. So go ahead and mark that your 17 inches and connect it into a straight line at the opened part. Now after marking that, I'm going to be marking half of an inch. Half of an inch will be to join those corners together to sew it up. Okay, so go ahead and add half of an inch, and then I'm going to connect as well into a straight line, just the way you see me do. Now after doing that, I'm going to cut out this part. I need it to be straight. Okay, now after doing that, you're going to determine the extension you want at the back. The collar has an extension. Okay, it's a design collar, so I have 6 inches here, and that's absolutely fine. So you connect from the top part to the corner of this folded part, just the way you see me do. I hope I'm correct in what I'm speaking. Okay, but just watch what I'm doing and you will get it. Connect from the top part to the corner, just the way you see me do, and go ahead and cut this out. I really hope this is clear. Okay, now whatever you had round your neck, mark it and then add half of an inch to it. Go ahead and extend the collar just the way you see me do. I extended mine by 6 inches. You can do more or less. Okay, now after doing this, when you open it up, this is what you're going to have. Can you see the edges? So what you do next is to put it back on fold, and you're only going to be sewing this corner, this curved part, with half of an inch that you added. Okay, and do the same here and flip it to the right side. So can you see what I have? I've sewn it up and I've notched the midpoint. Okay, at that midpoint, we're going to be using it to attach to the main fabric. So go ahead as well and notch the midpoint of your front neckline. Okay, so you're going to be attaching the collar from the midpoint to the notch you made before your zipper allowance, and the same thing from the center of the neckline as well to the notch you made before the zipper allowance at the other area as well. I really hope this is clear. Please, if you have any questions, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just let me know in the comment section. If I need to do another fresh explanation for you, I'll do. But if you're following what I'm doing, you will get the correct thing. So join it all the way through. Now after joining it, okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my lining piece, and I'll place my lining right sides facing each other. Flip your collar to lay on the main piece, the front piece of your dress, just the way you see me do. Now ensure that the shoulder joining of your lining and your main piece is aligning, very important, and sew up the neckline. Can you see what we have after stitching and top stitching? Can you see how everything is laying flat and neat? Okay, can you see? So make sure your work is neat. So now we're going to be turning the both sides neatly with our lining. So what you're going to do is you flip your lining back to the front piece, just the way you see me do, and then you're going to stitch all the way to the hem. Okay, on the sides. Remember, the main fabric is going to be longer than the lining. Okay, remember we added some allowance at the hem part. Okay, now you're going to align the sides as well and sew up the sides. Ensure the lining and the main piece is matching up neatly. I hope you understand what we're doing. Flip the right side of the lining to be at the right side of the main piece, and then go ahead and turn all the sides. Okay, so go ahead and join. If you want to turn the lower parts as well, you can do that. Okay, but I only turned the sides and I hemmed the lower parts. Now for the center piece, you're going to be doing the same thing. Flip the lining right sides facing as well, and sew from the armhole all the way to the hem. Turn the both sides and repeat the same thing for the other side of the back as well. And once you're done, go ahead and shape the both sides with your allowance and hold the center of the back and leave out your zipper area. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and cut out the sleeve. Sorry guys, this tutorial is very long. Okay, I'm trying to be fast. So I have my fabric on a fold of 2. Make sure what you're folding is more than your actual armhole allowance by 5 or 7 inches. Okay, so I'll go ahead and open that fabric into 2. Okay, it's no longer unfold. Now these two pieces only for one sleeve, so I'll show you guys how to go about it. Now from this open part, you're going to mark in the overlapping effect you need for this petal sleeve. So for me, I marked 6 inches. You can go ahead and mark 5 inches. This is for the overlapping effect on your petal sleeve. Okay, remember a petal sleeve has an overlapping effect. That's what we're marking now. So I'm marking 6 inches for mine. So go ahead and connect that line into a straight line, and then you're going to bring in the other piece just the way you see me do. Place it this way, the right side on the wrong side of this one, and go ahead and pin it down. Ensure it is resting on that 6-inch line that you just created now. Okay, go ahead and pin it in place. Now after doing this, the next thing you're going to do is to mark inwards the 6 inches divided by 2. If you marked 5 inches, you're going to be marking 5 inches divided by 2. Whatever you have, mark it inwards just the way you see me do, and connect into a straight line. Now from that point, you're going to pick the 2 fabrics together just the way you see me do and fold it into 2, and you'll see that everything matches up efficiently. I hope this is clear. After marking your overlapping effect, you divide what you have by 2 and mark it inwards, and then from that point fold your fabric into 2. Now at this open part, you're going to be coming down by 4 inches, 4.5, maximum 5 inches depending on your body size, and I'm connecting this into a straight line just the way you see me do, and we're going to go ahead to create our armhole curve. At this point, you're going to be marking your round armhole divided by 2, and you'll add 3 or 4 inches to it. Remember, this sleeve has some pleats, some puffy effect. Okay, there's another method to cut out a puff sleeve. You can use any other method that you're convenient with. Okay, so I'll go ahead and curve out my sleeve at this point, and after curving, you mark the lower part of your sleeve opening as well. Okay, and then you cut out, but remember, it's not going to be fitted. The arm of this sleeve is not a fitted sleeve, so whatever you're marking as your round arm, ensure it's not fitted. Okay, so I'm going ahead to cut out my sleeve just the way you see me do. Okay, and after you're done doing this, go ahead and notch the midpoint of this your sleeve. But before I do, I'll go ahead to confirm what I have, that I have my round armhole plus some allowance for me to make some pleats. Okay, so go ahead and notch this midpoint just the way you see me do. Sorry guys for the noise. Okay, so sorry, but I hope you're hearing me clearly. So go ahead and open this up just the way you see me do, and then you're going to curve it the way you see me place my hand from your round sleeve area. Can you see the way I'm curving this? Go ahead and curve it back to the top part just the way you see me do, to have that curve effect. Now if you don't want yours to be too open, you can reduce it a bit. Now just go ahead and connect this the way you see me do, and go ahead and cut out. We're done with our sleeve. Now remember that this is just for one sleeve. If you're going to be using lining, you're going to be cutting out the exact same thing, 4 pieces of this for your lining, 4 pieces of this for the main fabric. But since I'm going to be using my fabric as the lining, I'm going to be cutting out 6 pieces of this exact same thing on my main fabric. Okay, make sure you note the top part that is going to your round armhole. So can you see what we have? I'll go ahead to cut this out on 6 other pieces. Now when you open this up, you remember that notched part, you're going to place it, and you have this overlapping effect, and you will still have enough to create that pleat that we have at the shoulder. Okay, I hope this is clear. So go ahead and cut out exact same thing like this, 6 of this if you're using your main piece as the lining. Okay, so I've gone ahead to cut this. Can you see what we have? I have 6 pieces of this, 2 for the main piece, 4 for the main piece, sorry, 4 for the lining. Okay, so I'm going to pick 2 and show us what you're going to do. Sorry guys. So you're only going to be sewing round this lower part only and flip it to the right side. So I've gone ahead to turn the sides. Can you see our collar? Can you see the bust area and our cone 6 pieces effect? Can you see? So please give this video a thumbs up if you're learning something from it. Okay, so I'll go ahead to attach my sleeve, and I've joined the center back and left space for my zipper allowance. I'll go ahead to fix in my sleeve and fix in my zipper, and then we've come to the end of this tutorial. Please, if this tutorial has been helpful, you've learned 1 or 2 from it, kindly give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Now these are the sleeves. Can you see I use the main piece to turn this out? We have 4 pieces of this. So you're going to place it, ensure you mark that notched area. Okay, you're going to place it the notched area to the notched area. Can you see what we have? Just the way you see me do. Now if you want the overlapping effect to come forward some more, you can bring it forward some more, just the way you see me do, and then you stitch it up to become 1 sleeve. Can you see what I have? You stitch it up to become 1 sleeve, then you attach it to the shoulder and create your pleat. So till I see you guys next time, bye bye.